Frankie, there are types of Velveeta that we have been neglecting. And after 77 episodes, we're finally going to take a look at them today on BoxMac. Formax, all direct, top-of-the-line, Velveeta branded. Don't give me, I don't even want, this box is a little bit crushed.
Just a little. We were collecting all the Velveetas to do the show, and I saw the 3 pristine ones in the holomac, and then he goes, there's one other in the trunk of my car from 10 months ago.
I think I bought these ones. This one was actually given to us by a fan.
The one fan who showed up to our meetup.
To our meet and greet. This is a broccoli and cheese rotini. And then we have Queso Blanco, a bacon with Oscar Mayer bacon, and a whole grain rotini.
I was only ever peripherally aware of the fact that Velveeta did anything besides its standard.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Velveeta line pushes these as hard as, say, Kraft pushes like thick and creamy and 3 cheese and spirals.
No, I don't think so at all.
These are kind of pushed in the back. 2 are rotinis.
Yeah.
Which is also unusual because I think Velveeta mac and cheese, I think shells.
Could this be the festival of rotini?
It could start slowly.
Yeah, but I'm kind of excited about these macs.
Well, we know that Velveeta, when we started BoxMac, Velveeta was my mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And then kind of like Cracker Barrel really knocked it out of place.
Knocked it out, and I haven't had a Velveeta in actually a long time now.
I remember that with the bolds, especially the Chipotle and the like the pepper flakes or whatever the other one was, we weren't in love with those. Like we felt like they should just keep those ingredients out.
And I think we're gonna have a lot of the same stuff today. I'm expecting those bacon bits to certainly be very similar to the ones we saw in the Cracker Barrel.
Well, if anybody had a chance at making whole grain good, it's probably Velveeta.
Probably Velveeta. Today, we're bringing out the inauguration of the 4th pot.
Yeah, a 4th pot wasn't bought. Let's not.
No,
lie
I went over to my father's house 5 minutes before this episode and got a 4th pot.
Yeah.
That's how it went down. But as a result, we now have the maximum amount of steam my stove could generate being generated. Max steam.
I was trying to get the show kind of prepped, so I decided to. I was filling the pots with an arbitrary amount of water, and then he comes over and he goes, "Oh, you didn't measure it out. You have to for the salt ratios."
Well, look, my point is valid.
This from the guy who dumps salt in somewhat haphazardly.
I tried to You're right.
If something's a little undersalted, I don't think it's something I'd notice.
Well,
if something's a little oversalted, I don't think I'm going to notice.
But, I mean, if you put 8 cups of water in, and I put a teaspoon of salt, versus 6 cups of water in, that's like a 30% salt difference, right?
I mean, look, if I was making Velveeta at home, I probably wouldn't salt it anyway. And
what? After all this time? After every show we did the comparison show, you admitted it was better? You couldn't go to your salt shaker and shake a little in?
There are things in life where, like, unless you're comparing them back to back, you're not really going to notice the difference.
Oh, man.
All right, fine. Broccoli bits?
Broccoli pack. Yeah.
Wouldn't you be better off buying broccoli from the store?
Yeah, I think so. Broccoli is pretty cheap. And this is not much broccoli, by the way.
Broccoli Lesnar. That'd be a good VeggieTales character. Broccoli Lesnar?
VeggieTales is still around?
I have no idea.
I don't think so. So here's our whole wheat rotini.
Rotini.
And it doesn't look that great. And they're really short, too, which I'm not sure I'm super keen on.
Are you paying extra?
Well, what you actually get is you get smaller boxes. Is yours a 10 ounce? This one is 9.4 with the broccoli.
The bacon's 10.3.
This whole grain is 10. So what you really actually get out of it is less mac. They charge you the same amount.
For like the little pack of crap broccoli? Well, that's fair at least. I don't like it when they charge more for spirals and you get less pasta.
Yeah.
Are you relieved that you don't have to cut butter, prep milk?
When we're doing Formax, yeah, I am a little bit
Because this is pretty easy to manage.
Yeah.
You want to explain to me what happened though, really? If a box ended up in my trunk, it wouldn't necessarily go through so much trauma.
We had that meet and greet, and I took the Macs back to the car, and then I tossed them in the trunk, and then I started, living my life, and I obviously put my groceries in the trunk, and so things got a little crushed.
Your trunk was filled with contents.
Yes.
There are a lot of people like that. It's like a syndrome.
Trunk content syndrome?
Yeah. My trunk has nothing in it.
Yeah, I prefer that to be my
Because when
trunk
I come
state.
home, I take it out and
But I'm so lazy.
Integrate it.
Sometimes I buy things and don't even take them out of the trunk.
What's up with that? Is there a moment where when you're leaving the car that you go, I could get them from the trunk, I'm not gonna?
So a lot of the stuff in the trunk is stuff I bought after Christmas like lights, and they're gonna end up in the basement in storage for a year.
When?
In May.
When will that be removed from the trunk?
May. When it's nice out again.
Okay.
Or if we get another really nice day and all the snow's gone. There's cat food, which I just bought this past week, and I haven't bought in yet. I don't need it yet. It's just for the pantry.
But why is it waiting? What's the advantage?
Because I didn't want to make another trip.
The car is right there.
It's cold out.
It's not too cold to bring in actual groceries that need to be brought into the fridge.
That's right. I bring those in.
So then everything else is just as easy.
It's another trip, though.
But it accumulates.
I know. It'll unqueue.
Don't you want a clean life?
My life is cleanish. My apartment's pretty orderly. My life can never have 3 organized areas. The 3 areas of my life are home, cubicle at office, and car. And only 2 of them can be clean at any time.
Why?
It just works out that way. The cubicle could use a little work. The car is all right, and the house is pretty clean.
I have coworkers who their desk surface in their cube is just covered in papers and notebooks and papers and notebooks.
Yeah, that's kind of the state of mind right now.
And I'm like, how do you even know what you need to attend to at your desk?
You're not wrong. Some idle morning when there's no meetings or I'm on a phone meeting that I only need to cursorily pay attention to, I'll clean off that desk.
Yeah, I hear you.
Is your desk pretty orderly?
The only thing that's on it are things I need.
Really? But that's your life.
There are some areas of my life that need improvement.
Yeah.
Like I need to attend to my gums better.
You need to attend to your gums better?
Yeah, I'm well brushed, but
Yep.
my gums are sensitive between the teeth. I'm told that like it's not even a flossing thing. Like I have to take these little massage picks, and I have to like cause them to be less inflamed.
Yeah, and then they get bleedy, and that's just the worst.
But that's supposed to bring the bleeding down.
Yes, it will over time.
I go to the dentist 4 times a year.
Yep, that's more than two more than I do.
Just so that I can like keep on top of it, because otherwise I might not keep on top of it. But then I go, she lectures me. I go home and go, I'm gonna get this together this time.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but I don't have to start until next week.
Yes, and then it doesn't
yeah.
actually.
But I'm ashamed. I'm deeply ashamed of it.
I mean, you don't have any obvious gum problem.
I could in the future. And losing weight's sort of the same thing.
It is, yeah,
or you're like,
definitely.
so there's a couple of areas in my life that are like that.
Cleanliness is not one with you, though. I mean, your house is always pretty darn clean. And your car certainly is too.
I'm neat for sure.
Yeah.
Clean. I'm not one to take a bunch of time out of a Saturday to like dust.
Yeah.
Scrub the toilet or
Yeah.
something like that. But I'm definitely neat.
I always scrub the toilet every week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I give my toilet a full rundown.
So I'm surprised the bidet doesn't have a self-cleaning.
I mean, it does, but I like an extra clean toilet.
So what's up with that? The trunk is filled with stuff, but the toilets, you
The
can eat
thing
all
is,
of it.
I've been to other people's houses, and you occasionally counter a kind of gross toilet.
Sure.
Little poop stains. We're getting back into the scatological.
Dedicated to Dean Trendway.
When people come to my house, I never want them to experience that. I never want anybody to say, ew, that toilet's gross.
Well, sure. I think when you're having guests over,
Yeah.
that's a time to scrub the toilet.
Sure.
As if the guests will be like, huh, John poops in his toilet, I see. You're supposed to put up a front that says, I don't actually use it.
That's just for show.
It's telegraphing a bathroom. No, I'm a very clean man. I poop in the trunk. How are we doing here?
They're cooking a little slow.
These guys in the back, they're getting stuck to the bottom a little bit.
Yeah.
When we used to cook mac when we were much younger.
Yeah.
You were big on like, hey, keep stirring it so that it doesn't get stuck to the bottom.
Yeah.
We haven't tried the Magic Mac yet, but I think a really awesome benefit would be if it had an automated stirrer.
Yeah, a little motor. I bet we could do that up. Yeah, get some good B-roll. Oh crap! I was supposed to add something in.
What?
The broccoli. Okay, we're doing that now. I'm gonna drain that right now. They're a slightly different size packets, and only one of them is the new easy open type.
It's all good. Oops.
It's gonna be hot.
I can't wait to eat mac and cheese. I think that's part of the reason people don't always like the scatological stuff is because they find themselves eating while they watch our show.
Yes, it is a show that it's easy to consume food during.
They do look a little brown, but it looks fine to me.
See, look how much that one stuck. We were stirring it pretty continuous.
The bacon is almost
The bacon is very small pieces.
invisible pieces. It's like a clay color.
Yeah, and it really does reek of broccoli, doesn't it?
Well, broccoli smells worse than it tastes.
Yes, it definitely does.
Wow, look at the skin.
Whoa.
What's going on with that?
That's just a starch skin. That happens. Here's our broccoli one, which you can see just a little tiny bit of the broccoli in it.
I used to bus at a restaurant, and some of the really talented waitresses did this stuff. They decorate their arms with the entrees. It's impressive. I mean, it's risky stuff. I was once carrying a massive tray of used dishes back into the kitchen.
Yep.
And somebody was exiting the door, and it swung right into me, and the whole thing went, and it made not just the sound of glasses crashing, but the sound like a roar.
Did anyone clap for you?
Yes.
That's the worst, isn't it? A fork for you, sir.
A fork for me, sir. Want to do the rotini?
Yeah. The broccoli. Smell of broccoli for sure.
I mean, it's definitely Velveeta cheese.
Absolutely.
It tastes a lot like the that standalone package that you purchased. Like a little bit off, but not bad. And actually, the broccoli tastes good.
Yeah, it's actually very subtle.
I actually think it goes well with the cheese.
Honestly, I could do for more broccoli in it.
Yeah.
I think that if I was going to add broccoli to mac, this kind of inspires me to really finely chop it, as opposed to have bigger pieces.
That's a good point. I know a guy who put like big, giant heads of broccoli into clam chowder. And I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Would you knock this off?
Yes.
Will you stop it?
That was pretty good. I actually like the broccoli. I didn't think I was going to.
Want to do the whole grain?
Yeah. It's a little unappetizing in color.
It looks kind of dry.
The noodles didn't fall apart. Some of them did.
It's not very good.
No. The pasta ruins it.
Yeah, what is it about that pasta that like absorbs the cheese?
The pasta has a strange taste, right?
Yeah. We're gonna end up throwing a lot of that out.
Yeah. Also, the pasta has bad texture. When you bite into it, it doesn't smush as so much as it separates.
I'm not getting the Velveeta cheese even.
No, it's blocked out by the bad pasta.
Bacon?
Yeah, bacon. I really don't see much bacon.
It's gonna be the same thing as the broccoli, but with specks of bacon. But let's see if it has a bacon flavor about it. Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's pretty good bacon flavor. The pieces were really small.
I don't like it when the pieces are too big and they're kind of in the way. This just gives it a smoky bacon flavor.
I actually like it better bacon-wise than the Cracker Barrel one, which was bigger pieces.
This is a better bacon implementation.
Yeah.
Occasionally one gets stuck in your teeth and then your gums bleed.
Occasionally.
Pretty
On to
good.
the Queso Blanco.
And then my bet was that this was gonna be our best one. It's not as flavorful as I expected.
It's actually like Velveeta toned down a few levels.
Yeah. I can see somebody really going for this stuff. Like depends on your cheese preference.
Some people would definitely find Velveeta to be kind of too chemically cheesy.
Yeah, this tones that down.
This is really toned down. Up against these other ones with the traditional Velveeta cheese, I'm not that into it.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
Probably my favorite. It might be the broccoli.
The broccoli was actually really good. I really liked the way the pasta held the cheese, too. And the bacon was good. Stay away from the whole grain.
The whole grain is rough.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really bad.
It's the pasta is just no good, and it doesn't mix well with the cheese.
You said pasta.
Pasta.
You're starting to use like the UK/Canadian pronunciation.
I'm losing my origin. Frankie, I don't know what's coming up next, but I do know that it's going to involve this one right here, the ultimate cheddar penne, whole brown rice pasta side, gluten-free. Look forward to that one next time.
See what the boys ultimately thought of Ashley Blum's Mushroom and Bacon Mac. And if you still haven't watched Glitter Bitches, don't forget, Junt in those too. Support us on Patreon and come back next week for more.
After all this time,